Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube video. I quickly want to take you through the latest residential property price index, which came out on the 11th of September in our property journey. Uh, okay, so this is just a summary of the findings. So annual property price inflation was 6% in April 2025, an increase from a revised 5.5 in March, and then the RPPI increased by 0.6 month on month. That's nationally. So that's a good baseline if you are looking for property and you want to increase rentals. 5.9 is pretty reasonable. And now they're doing attribution, saying the main contributors were Western Cape, which is 9.3, and Gauteng. So Western Cape is 35% and Gauteng is 50%. I'll show you the breakdown right now. And then the RPPI for the metros increased by 5.4. Main contributors again were City of Cape Town. And then for properties sold for the first time, it increased by 2.8. And then for resold properties by 6.2. And then for sectional titles, it's 4.8. And then for standalones, it's 6.4. Right, so this is what you're basically looking at. So this is year on year, and then this is month on month. Year on year, national is the 5.9. Western Cape is almost double that at 9.3. Eastern Cape is 3. Northern Cape came down. Free State 5.7, which is quite strong. KZN 2.5. Northwest 7.5. What's the Northwest? Gauteng 3. Mpumalanga 3.4. Limpopo 16%. When's the Limpopo? And then this is attribution again, right? Limpopo weighs very low, it's about 1.3%, so that's why that 16% isn't coming through National 5.9. I'm keen to see how that plays out over time. Limpopo and Northwest and in Northern Cape to some extent are mining towns, so strong mining performance might be coming through like this. Sorry. Okay. And then they've got some charts. That's from January 2020. The rate basically dipped. It was about 5.5. Peaked in COVID at 7%. So I'm looking at the right-hand side axis. And then it dipped to about 2%. And now it's back up at about the 5.9 we saw. Alright, and then these are the weights. So I was saying City of Cape Town 35%. And then Ekurhuleni plus COJ plus Tshwane is about 49 or 48%. So that's the 50%. So if Ekurhuleni, COJ, and Tshwane were to actually like make inroads and clean up the city, in the sense that it will attract investment and safety and all of that, we could get into a lot of trouble in terms of rental appreciation because they're 50% and they literally just need to get a little bit of work done. I don't know much about Botswana, but I know COJ is water, electricity. If that was to be sorted out, the robots, then your fourways area would definitely appreciate. Your Santon definitely do better. Your Randburg will definitely do better. Ekurhuleni, I think, services as well. So water, electricity, if service delivery were to get a bit better, we could see this picking up materially, and then we could really get into trouble here. No, 5.4 could get even bigger. Because it will also be catching up, right? I know there's a lot of talk about property doing very well at Tshwane, but again, I don't know enough about it to say. But we could see that 3.3 picking up very soon as well, with a lot of the investment being pushed into at Tshwane. And then these are the contributors. The charts are very ugly. I hope someone from Stats sees that. Zim charts is in. And then these are properties sold for the first time. City of Cape Town is about 3.2. Mangaung, that's in Bloom. Properties sold for the first time came down. eThekwini, new builds also came down. And then COJ, new builds went up. Okay. Tshwane also went up. Ekurhuleni, new builds also went up. And then for resold properties, 10%, double digits Akapa. And then Nelson Mandela Bay, Ekabeja is 6.2. Mangaung is also positive. eThekwini is also positive. COJ also doing okay on that metric. And then Buffalo City Mzantsi, that also came up. And then sectional titles, City of Cape Town, 9% for sectional titles. Buffalo City sectional titles came down. Where is that? eThekwini sectional titles also came down. Yeah, so that's quite interesting to see. Tshwane strong. It's a bit low, but it's quite strong as well. So that's quite interesting to see. It's also interesting to see that the weights change. So City of Cape Town resold properties weighs 34. City of Cape Town properties sold for the first time is 36, which means that there's a lot of new builds in City of Cape Town relative to the other metros. And then in terms of sectional titles, City of Cape Town has a smaller weight than COJ. That's also quite interesting to note that distinction. And then freehold, City of Cape Town is also coming higher here on the weight. And then, but yeah, Gauteng is still at about 50% there. So freehold properties 9.7. Tekwini freehold properties are also going up high. So people seem to be liking freehold properties and they're willing to pay a premium for them. That is essentially the end of the residential property price index. Very important for us to keep an eye on these when they come out. This came out like a couple of days ago. It's very important as a property investor to know what kind of rental you can be expecting to charge in terms of the increment for your modeling purposes. And yeah, I'm gonna cut the video here. Check out my previous video where I complained about my current tenant. I'm actually not laughing.